All right, welcome back. We just talked about a whole bunch of amazing bragging rights of the Philippines, but there's also some really unusual things. And so in this episode, we're going to dive into some of these unusual things that are kind of fun to talk about. So you've heard of the number 13. That's not unusual for people to have superstition.
Yeah.
Around that, but
unlucky.
I think they take it kind of to the extreme.
Okay.
In the Philippines. Like before we talk about that, I did notice one thing. Most buildings that are above 13 floors in the USA don't have a 13th floor.
Yeah, they skip the 13th floor.
That is, I saw that in the elevators in the Philippines. They do not have 13th floor.
Yeah.
They will avoid having 13 people at a table.
Oh, really?
Now, I've never seen this personally, so I'm curious. Is this a bunch of baloney? Or...
Wait, does that mean that somebody gets uninvited? What if...
You have to bring someone else. That's the nice way. You don't have to kick anybody out. You have to... So there's 14 people.
So what if there are 14 people and one person can't make it? Do you have to find somebody else?
I think they have to wait outside or something.
Sorry. I'm very curious. Yeah.
And the steps to the main entrance of a house can't be divisible by 3.
That's so interesting.
I wonder where that came about.
Yeah, I want to know. Like, does that mean you have to change the height of the stairs? Like, if you're a contractor and you're putting in stairs for a house and it's like, oh, it's going to be 6 stairs.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
So I want to know, like, how serious is that? Are you watching this? Have you ever heard of that before? Or is it common, or is it just new to you as well? Okay, so this is a religious thing, so there's no making fun of here. But even on things like Holy Thursday or Good Friday during Holy Week, they won't even bathe. No bathing.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of interesting.
That is interesting. Is that from because we talked about the Spanish king, so is it pretty religious in the Philippines?
Christianity is pretty strong. There's also a good presence of Muslim in the Philippines. Tell me if there's other religions as well, because I'm not as educated as I could be.
Interesting. I'm very
But yeah,
interested in that
very
too.
Christian influence.
Yeah.
Well, our next fact happens to deal exactly with that.
Oh, really?
It's the only majority Christian nation in Asia.
Oh, really? In all of Asia?
In all of Asia, Christianity is the major religion of the Philippines compared to any other Asian nation.
Because in others it would probably be like Islam or Buddhism, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Philippines is Christianity.
Yeah, there's Hindu in India.
Wow.
But yeah, 80% of its population identifies as Roman Catholic. Now, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I know that we're building lots of new temples. So I know that
there are some in
Christianity is growing in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Is what in my faith. Okay, this one would have been good for me to know when my team gives me a gift. According to Filipino custom, it's considered rude to open gifts immediately after they are given.
Oh, interesting.
So if you get given a gift, you don't open it right then. That's rude.
So you hold it and wait till...
Maybe you open it later in private or something.
I actually would prefer that. I think we should adopt that.
Yeah, in the USA, it's kind of like, open it. I want to see your reaction.
I want to see.
Take a
and that's
video.
So much pressure. To open and what happens if you don't like it?
Oh, I've always
It
wanted
happens
one
to
of
me
these.
all the time. I'm terrible at opening
gifts. You get
gifts.
flooded with gifts all the time from all of your fans and
yes,
your supporters
and they always want me to open it right there.
Well, that is good to know. I know that one of my team members gave me a gift, and I asked. I said, "Do you want me to open it now and later?" And they definitely did say later. So that confirms that this is truth.
That's smart to ask.
The Philippines is the only country in the world whose flag is hoisted upside down when the country is at war. So I have a question.
Oh.
Have you ever been in a time where you've seen the flag upside down? Like what kind of war? I know that they've got...
That's a great question.
Sometimes because with so many islands to keep track of, there's been terrorists have come in and done some stuff on some of the obscure islands. Well, not even obscure islands, but I don't know. Is that considered a wartime or?
I'm curious why other countries don't do that.
Flag upside down. I don't know. We don't.
In a time of war.
We can't. I can't think of us putting our flag upside down when we're ready to. We hoist it like we're proud to be an American.
That's true.
So
also,
putting
our
it
flag
upside
would
down
always be upside down these days. It seems like, unfortunately.
All right. People ask me often, what language do they speak in the Philippines? Well, luckily they speak English everywhere that I've gone.
Perfect.
It's the second language, but I've got amazing writers on my team. I mean, so English is taught everywhere.
Okay.
The other language is Tagalog.
Yeah. Okay.
But 7,000 islands, and like
Yeah.
there's according to this and the range. I mean, it makes sense. It says there are between 120 and 175 individual languages.
So
we're not talking
not
accents.
like dialects. Does that count as an individual language?
I don't know.
I have no idea either.
You probably know. Because in the USA we don't have dialects.
No, we have accents.
We have accents.
Yeah.
So there's
Which could be another language in some places.
with your great comedic acting ability, can you do
Yeah.
accents?
Yeah.
Give me a Southern Tennessee.
Yeah, like a Southern Tennessee accent talking.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Like a hillbilly
Yeah.
working on your boat.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a hillbilly working out on my boat down on the river. It's been down there for about 10 years.
Okay,
now.
what if you're a native New Yorker?
I mean, the classic, hey, I'm walking here. It's kind of like I feel like, well, now I have to think about it.
So we wouldn't consider that a different
a
language.
New Yorker. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So English and Filipino are, let's see, Filipino, which is based on Tagalog, are the country's two officially recognized languages.
So
So there's 171 that are still being spoken,
okay.
and 4 of them, no one speaks them anymore. So there are 4 languages that have gone extinct
Okay.
in the Philippines. If you have families that move and go to another island and you don't talk, and over centuries it changes.
Right. Right.
The Philippines is the world's largest supplier of nurses.
Oh, really? Nurses.
Nurses.
Okay.
25% of all overseas nurses worldwide come from the Philippines.
Wow. Just worked on a conference in Orlando about like a couple months ago. It was a nurses conference, and there was a hospital from the Philippines, I think.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of overseas workers like that work on cruise ships. Obviously, I hire people from the
That
Philippines,
makes sense. Yeah.
so nurses.
Nurses.
So I've never experienced that side of it. From my experience, very educated in all things related to the computer. And on the topic of nurses, the
Okay.
antibiotic erythromycin, it was invented by Dr. Abelardo Aguilar in 1949. He's a Filipino.
Okay.
He sent a sample to his employer, and they patented it, and it can be used for people who are allergic to penicillin. It saved millions of lives. So
Wow,
that's
cool.
that is pretty cool. It doesn't say it was invented in the Philippines. It just says it was invented by a Filipino.
right.
But maybe he was in India or the USA. Where does Eli Lilly Pharmaceutical Company, where is that located? And that will let you know where he was working. But his nationality was Filipino. So
That's cool.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's street cred, man.
That's street cred.
Okay, so I have 16 employees that work for me, but they work from their homes. They work in the Philippines. But
Okay.
There's actually a big number, 11 million Filipinos that work overseas. They consider the Philippines their home,
Okay.
but they work on cruise ships or they actually leave and travel to go work
Wow.
overseas and send money back home.
11 million. Wow, that's
It's
interesting.
it's really hard to get a good paying job in the Philippines.
Wow.
That's why they're called a developing country, not a third world country.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, also, that would be like really good for their economy, right? Sending all that
I
money
think it's
from around
helping.
the world. Yeah.
I like to look at it that way.
That's cool.
All right, let's end on a pretty fun one that I found very interesting. So both trips that I've taken to the Philippines have been in November.
Okay.
You show up at the airport, and guess what kind of music is playing?
In November.
Christmas music.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
And apparently they've been going for a long time by the time I arrived. So
Like since Halloween.
Filipinos observe the world's longest Christmas season. It
Okay.
begins with the playing of carols in September and ends in January with the Feast of the Three Kings.
From September to January.
Mhm. And so that's when they have Christmas music. Like the malls are all decked out,
That's amazing.
fully decorated with lights, Christmas
Yeah.
trees, Christmas music, of course.
Yeah.
And celebrations apparently happen all throughout December. It's not just Christmas Day.
I love that.
That's pretty cool.
I'm obsessed with Christmas. I listen to Christmas music like in September, but secretly because people get mad.
I can understand that.
That would be in our pet peeves video. Me listening to Christmas music way before it's time. That's awesome. I'm moving to the Philippines.
So I am curious. Comment below when you started hanging up Christmas decorations or playing Christmas music. What month was it that you started doing that? We're gonna do one more of these episodes because there's some really cool things. I mean, this one we labeled kind of like interesting facts about the Philippines. But they're like volcano. We're gonna talk really cool stuff in the next episode. So go ahead and watch that one next.